In the shadows of Gotham, a symbol rises, Batman. But beneath the mask lies a deeper story, one that can be understood through the CST Framework. CST stands for circle, square, triangle, three shapes that explain human nature. Circle is desire and emotion, square is discipline and achievement, triangle is identity and social expression. The shadow in CST is what happens when one shape dominates and the others collapse. This is a CST analysis of Batman. Let's see how these shapes play out in the journey of Bruce Wayne. Why do we fall so we can learn to pick ourselves back up? Bruce Wayne didn't just lose his parents in that alley, he lost something deeper. His emotional foundation, his sense of safety, his entire relationship to the world of feeling. His circle was shattered. The boy who once found joy in gardens, plays, and hand-holding became convinced that emotion was a liability. The moment of their death was also the moment his fear became shame, and shame became silence. In the CST framework, this is what happens when someone's circle is not just wounded, but buried. Bruce didn't grieve, he made a decision he would never feel again. What followed wasn't healing, it was construction, a full identity built on top of the wreckage of circle. He became square, not from maturity, but as a defense mechanism. Bruce turned to structure, discipline, and total control. He trained with the League of Shadows, submitting to pain, detachment, stealth, and obedience. He mastered every technique that would make him invulnerable. But the square he built wasn't healthy. It wasn't rooted in purpose or peace. It was armor built on a child's grave. This version of square is cold, over-controlled, and dangerously indifferent. It allows mastery but not connection, strategy without presence, order without joy. Eventually Bruce realizes that square alone cannot save Gotham. Structure is not enough. Criminals fear more than fists, they fear symbols. So Bruce begins crafting a new shape, the triangle. He becomes the Batman, not just a vigilante, but a myth. Triangle is about social influence, perception, and legacy. Bruce learns to weaponize fear. He understands that a man can be killed, but a symbol can endure. He becomes something larger than life. At the same time, he builds a second triangle persona. Billionaire Bruce Wayne, reckless, superficial, and disinterested. A false identity to misdirect public attention and conceal the operator beneath the mask. But even this triangle is not fully real. It's not built from truth, it's built from strategy. Batman's triangle is designed to control Gotham's psyche, not express Bruce's. Eventually both square and triangle begin to falter. After the events of the Dark Knight, Bruce loses his emotional anchor. Rachel is gone. Harvey turns. Gotham's hope collapses. Bruce takes the fall to protect the myth, but with no mission and no love, he disappears. What remains is the shell of square. Functional, disciplined, but spiritually empty. He hides in his mansion, waiting for time to end him. Without triangle, there is no one to see him. Without circle, there is nothing to feel. This is what happens when square runs on fumes. It doesn't collapse violently, it decays in silence. Bruce doesn't explode, he rots. In The Dark Knight Rises, Bruce is pulled back into the fight, but he's weaker, older, slower. The fire is gone. His body fails, his plan fails, and finally his symbol fails. Bane breaks him, physically, mentally, and ideologically. And then comes the moment that redefines the CST arc completely. Bruce is thrown into a pit, a literal dark circular pit. Not just a prison but a perfect symbolic representation of the shadow circle he abandoned as a boy. The shape he buried now swallows him whole. Inside the pit, Bruce is stripped of all three shapes. His square is broken, he can't fight, plan, or protect. His triangle is dead, no one knows where he is, and his myth has been shattered, and his circle is non-functional. There is no love, no joy, no connection. He has no identity left. He is trapped in darkness, powerless and fully alone. And it is here, in the heart of the shadow circle, that a different kind of healing begins. Not warmth, not love. Those things are too far gone, but something else emerges. Fear. Not the shameful fear that killed his parents, but primal, honest, instinctive fear. The fear of death, the will to live. A doctor in the pit tells him what Bruce has never been able to hear, that fear is not the enemy, it's fuel, it's human. It gives life meaning. The doctor presses the lesson with brutal clarity. You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak. How can you move faster than possible, fight longer than possible, without the most powerful impulse of the spirit, the fear of death? In this moment, the doctor is not just a healer, but a teacher. He initiates Bruce back into the circle, though not in warmth or joy, but in rawness. He reminds him that strength does not come from numbness. Batman had built himself on numbness, on killing the circle inside him, but that very deadness is why he fell back into the pit. He cannot escape until he reclaims what he buried, the will to feel, the will to live. Bruce tries to climb out with a rope tied to him, safety, logic, control, but it doesn't work. The rope is his square, the illusion of invulnerability. But the pit demands a different shape. He must leap without protection, he must risk falling, he must feel. When Bruce climbs without the rope, it's not just an act of courage, it's a reinitiation of circle. Not warm, not joyful, but alive. He reclaims a part of himself that was locked away since childhood. He climbs not because he's stronger, but because he's finally willing to be vulnerable. He embraces the fear instead of that emotional nothingness. The will to live is back. He no longer wants to die quietly, he wants to return. When he rises, he is not just a repaired square or a stronger myth. He is a man who has chosen life. Gotham still needs saving, and he answers. He completes his mission, square. He inspires the city, redeems the myth, and passes on the mantle, triangle. But when it's done, he does something no one expects. He stops. Bruce fakes his death. He chooses Selina. He lets go of the mask. And for the first time since that alley, he lets himself rest. This is what CST integration looks like. Circle. He reclaims feeling, not childish emotion but the will to live. Square. He completes the mission and releases it. Triangle. He allows the myth to live on, but no longer needs to be the one inside it. Batman was never the real destination. Bruce Wayne was. This chapter in the CST journey reminds us that the deepest transformation doesn't come from building stronger armor. It comes from returning to the shape we buried, because what we avoid doesn't disappear. It waits, and in time it becomes the pit. And the only way out is without the rope.